Yeah. I don't know if this is live yet or not. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. We'll see. It's live. Woo! Oh yeah. It's not dead anymore. I've got my fake cigarettes, which, if you're wondering if these are as good as real cigarettes, no. It's like Diet Coke. You can train yourself over time to be deceived, but ultimately, it's not the same thing. If you're wondering. Oh yeah. So, no, this is not the same e-cig I was smoking in a previous TJ Does Life video. TJ Does Life being my other channel, youtube.com/TJ Does Life. This is a new one. I'm buying the disposables, which doesn't make any economic sense in the long run, but you know, it appeals to my immediate cheapskateness, you know, rather than my long-term frugality to buy the disposables, which you know, they last me like 5 days or so a piece. Well, no, the first one lasted me 2 days. Then I slowed down, and then they started lasting me 5. You know, so let's get some questions. Let's get some fucking questions going on in here. Review of a Serbia film. It's actually a Serbian film, and I've not seen it except I was at some dude's house, and he's like, "Have you seen fucking Serbian film, bro?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "You gotta check that shit out." I'm like, "All right," and he fucking starts showing me scenes, and you know, like, I'd heard about the movie for like 2 years before I actually saw it, and I'd heard about the stuff that happens, like the fucking, like, rape of newborns and, like, other, you know, like, women being, like, killed while they're getting, you know, fucked in the ass, and just, like, you know, all kinds of crazy shit goes on in this fucking movie. And, you know, I heard about it all, and I'm like, wow, that sounds pretty crazy. You know, like, if I was a teenager, if I was, like, 15 or something, I'd be all over that. I'd be like, fucking, I gotta see this movie at all costs. But, like, you know, I'm just kind of like, I don't fucking care anymore. Like, I'm not shocked by it, so there's nothing exciting. And, you know, I know it's probably poorly made. So he shows it to me, and, you know, like, it was not nearly as bad as it was in my mind just from the descriptions people were giving me. Like, it looked so B-movie-ish and silly when I actually saw it that I couldn't even take anything that was happening seriously on any level. Like, I wasn't like, this is so ghastly and offensive. I was like, this is just like, this is like something like a 15-year-old would make and be like, Look how scary it is. Because, I mean, like, if I had a fucking... You gave me, like, a 20... Like, I don't know, not 20. You gave me, like, $1 million to make a movie when I was 15. I probably would have made some fucked up shit like that. Which is why I say that. But, you know, I wasn't, like, impressed with it. Would you fuck Jesus if he were real? You know, the good thing about Jesus is he has more holes than other people, you know? He's got the 2 here, and he's got the 2 in his feet, because they just one big spike through there. So, I mean, like, Jesus could pleasure a lot more men simultaneously than any currently existent porn star. Which is pretty impressive, you know? Which you can see why he's the fucking Messiah. Okay. New batch of comments. Do you still watch the Young Turks? You know, I kind of got sick of the Young Turks when I was watching this Halloween episode, and they were talking about, like, what costumes... my beard is particularly itchy right now. They were talking about what costumes were, like, offensive. Like, oh, and then they were talking to the panel, like, well, what about, is it offensive to dress like an Indian with a big, you know, head fucking thing, whatever the feather things are called. I keep wanting to say tomahawk, but I know that's a little axe. I don't fucking remember. Headdress. It's just called headdress, right? So, yeah, they fucking, oh, yeah, that's offensive. Well, what about, you know, painting yourself black? Oh yeah, that's offensive. What about wearing this Asian clothes? Well, that's offensive too. I like everything is fucking offensive. And the thing is, if you're like white and you dress as another race, there's only two explanations for that. Either you just like you're naively unaware that it will offend some, sensitive people, or you're doing it specifically to offend them. Either way, picking on these people makes no sense, because you're either just picking on someone who's so naive that they don't even see the racial boundaries, or you're picking on someone who thrives on your shock and being like, oh, I'm offended by this. They're thinking like, good, I fucking wore this to be offensive. So it really doesn't make a lot of sense to say that. And I'm just like, it's just at that point I realized, like, these people aren't giving me their real opinions on anything. They're just telling me what they their liberal fucking friends, think and say. And that's why you got these whole fucking panels of guests who just all agree on every fucking thing. And when they do disagree, it's like a fucking special event. Like, holy shit, there's dissension in the ranks. Who will win? And that's what it is. It's the fucking ranks. And it's like, I don't believe any of you are actually individuals giving me an individual fucking take on something. So I stopped watching for those reasons. But I mean, I still respect what they do, and I think their presence on YouTube is incredible. And I don't really have any animosity towards them. I just personally am not a viewer for those reasons. And the comments really suck at updating, so sometimes I have to manually update the page. TJ, what is your opinion on Bigfoot? I don't believe that such an animal exists, but I always thought it would be really great if it did, and I was wrong. And, all the skeptics were wrong. I mean, I'm a skeptic, and I fucking associate with skeptics. I like skeptics. But I still hope they're wrong. Just because I think sometimes skeptical people start to ironically view themselves as somewhat infallible. Like, they think skepticism is the ultimate weapon against anything. Like, oh yeah, nothing unexpected has ever happened on this planet. So, I mean, like, if Bigfoot was found out and all the skeptics were proven wrong and all the crazy people were proven right, that would just be hilarious to me. I think it would be like this great takedown of, like, these, snooty elites, and the great vindication of these fucking crazy-ass rednecks that are just fucking sitting there in the woods, like, with the binoculars, like, I'm gonna spot Bigfoot! Will you make your channel pay to subscribe channel, or will you make a channel that will be pay to subscribe? I have no plans to do that presently. Maybe that'll happen at some point in the future. Maybe I'll take a look at it. But as of now, there's no plans to do that. And if I did do that, it definitely would not be on the Amazing Atheist channel. It would be a separate channel that's like Amazing Atheist Premium or fucking some shit. Some kind of fucking bullshit like that. The cam is shaking. It's not the cam. I mean, well, the cam is shaking, but it's shaking because of this fucking monstrosity over here. That, I mean, I don't know if you could see that or not. Yeah. That thing pretty much shakes and rattles and rolls all the livelong day. Sometimes you smoke the wrong end of this fucking thing. What do we got here? If you had to choose a god or deity to follow, which one would it be? Well, I'm already the god of the godless, so I would follow myself. Which, would I just stand still in that case? I don't know exactly how that works, but that's what I'd do. Tits or I'm out. Well, get out! My tits are private. You can't see them unless you pay me $20.58. How much did my computer cost? I don't remember because it's really old at this point. It's just like, it doesn't really perform that well. I mean, at one time it was a pretty fucking sick beast, but now it's kind of just like a lumbering fucking pile of shit. So, definitely need to get that replaced at some point in the near future. I'll figure out some way to fucking scrape together the dough. Man, these fucking comments suck dick at updating. Want me to build you a new one? Yes. Build me a new computer and send it to me. You fucker. Would you move to Mars? There's nothing there, you know? Maybe, like, in 200 years when they got, like, you know, stores and shit. Then I'll move to Mars. Is God fat? I don't know. That's a good question. Is God fat? Well, you know, I always thought it was weird that, like, in so many pictures, God is depicted as, like, this old fucking dude. Like, sometimes he's even bald. Like, God can't stop himself from balding. So maybe he is fat. Maybe he's up there in heaven fucking crunching on potato chips, watching the world. Do you think you'll ever own a gun? I don't know. I mean, probably not, because I've never even shot one. I mean, I'm like pretty much 28 or 29, I forget. I'm one of those ages, and I don't fucking own a gun. I've never fucking even fired a gun. I've never really had any compelling urge to fire a gun. The only time I ever fucking want a gun is sometimes just to spite, like, these fucking ultra, like, anti-gun people. I'll see them, and I'll just be like, maybe I should get a gun. Just to fucking piss them off. But, you know, ultimately I'm not going to fucking do that. Because it's just, like, a petty reason to do anything, just to spite other people. Actually, that's like 90% of my motives for doing anything in life, so I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about here. What would you do if the hipsters made being atheist the new hipster thing? Well, I've already got a lot of hipster tendencies anyway. I mean, I kind of wear hipsterish glasses, and I'm wearing a Batman shirt. But it's not ironic. I really just like Batman, so, you know. But I do like irony. So, yeah, I mean, I got some hipster shit. And plus, I watch a lot of fucking older shit, and I usually bitch about how the original of something is better than the new. So, I mean, I guess I'm kind of a hipster in those senses. I mean, I wouldn't care. If atheism is like the new hipster thing, whatever. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it would be an improvement over, like, the current state of the atheist community with all this atheism plus nonsense floating around. You know, like, oh, let's turn atheism into something just as dogmatic as the thing that it once stood in firm opposition to. Yay! Mac, Windows or Mac? Well, this is Windows. I don't fucking like Mac. I'm sorry. You know, I don't fucking... I'm not one of these people that wants to make a big fucking deal out of it. Like, let's fucking fight about this shit. Like, oh, you know, you like Mac? Well, fuck you. I'm gonna kill your children. No. I just don't fucking like them. It's all fucking ass backwards to me. It's all ass fucking backwards. It's ass fucking backwards, you stupid fucks. You fucking idiots! Why you wanna fucking use that shit? You got to get the Windows! Get Bill Gates more money! Yeah. What is your stance on the H1N1 vaccine scandal? I don't know. I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. I don't know nothing about that shit. Is atheism a stupid word? Should it be called non-theism or something instead? Seems there is a lot of confusion on theists, atheists, agnostics, etc. Well, I mean, any time... Like, human beings are obsessed with labeling things, and every time people label something, other people are like, this definition isn't nuanced enough for me. You know, that's why it used to be like, you know, there was like, okay, like, it used to just be like, okay, there's heterosexuality and there's homosexuality, and then there's people who are like, well, we like both. Okay, well, you could be bisexuals. And then there's people who are like, well, we like both, but in a different way. And they're like, oh, all right, well, that's kind of vague, but you can be pansexuals. And then before you know it, there's like a million fucking sexualities. And it's just like there's like a million genres of fucking metal music, because every fucking band is like, no, we're not that kind of metal, we're this kind of metal. So, I mean, it's the same thing with atheists and agnostic and all that shit. I mean, people are going to want like these different ultra nuanced fucking definitions, and it's like, you know what, just... At some point, it just becomes a bunch of masturbatory fucking bullshit that doesn't matter. You know, I mean, of course there's different nuanced positions within each fucking label, but you don't need, you know, that's why you need to know people individually, and you can't make assumptions. You know, you don't need a different fucking label for every little tiny iteration of a different fucking philosophy or moral code or what the fuck ever. How tall are you? I am 6'7", and I've answered that question so many fucking times. I just don't know how that's still not just out there in the fucking consciousness. It's like every time I do one of these, there's at least one or two people like, how tall are you? How tall? I need to know how tall you are so I can judge you by your height. And then I tell them 6'7", you're not fucking 6'7", you're like 5'5". You don't look that tall. Okay, I don't know, I'm sorry, I don't look as tall as I am, but I am that tall, and if you saw me in person, you would realize that. That's all I can say to that fucking bullshit. What do you think of the Westboro Baptist Church? They're awesome! You know, I mean, everyone pretty much feels the same. I think we're all in agreement the Westboro Baptist Church sucks. I mean, there's a few contrarians out there that'll try to be like, well, you know, they fucking, they got their good points, they're this and that, and, you know, but whatever, just horse shit. Quit trying to fucking be unique. They suck. They're a fucking bunch of cunts, and if their fucking church burned down tomorrow and they all died, America would rejoice, and rightfully so. And I say that as someone who's actually spoken to one of these people directly. So I have more insight than most into the fucked upness of the Westboro Baptist Church, though not more insight than anyone. Would you blow a midget for 5 pounds of cocaine? I don't know. I'd have to try cocaine first. But, you know, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't try cocaine because I'd be afraid I'd like it and then I'd get addicted because I have an addictive personality. Like, I get addicted to anything that I like. You know? Well, that's why I'm still... Even though I've quit smoking, I can't really quit smoking. I've got to have some kind of bullshit, you know? Man, that's good beer. It'd be better if I hadn't just brushed my teeth, but, you know, that's what you get for brushing your teeth. TJ, would you eat at Amy's Baking Company? You know, yes, I actually would. I'm kind of interested to actually see what the food in that place would actually taste like. Like, because, I mean, if you go back and look at the reviews before Gordon Ramsay came in there, a lot of people said the food was actually okay. Which, you know, like, but people are idiots. I mean, there's people eat shitty food all the time and say it's good, so that doesn't necessarily mean anything. But, like, the food might be all right. I don't know. Most of the bad reviews were from the shitty service. And, I just want to fucking, I want to eat there because I want to see for myself what it's like. But, of course, by now, those two sociopaths that run it have probably come up with some new strategy for how they're not going to fucking, you know, do that anymore. I mean, even those people, as disconnected as they are from reality, are going to have a difficult fucking time coming back from that if they're not going to change at least a little bit. Unless they just want to totally embrace their shittiness and open one of those restaurants where, like, they're intentionally rude to you, you know? And then they just come out there to your table and they call you a fucking moron and slam shit down. And then, you know, everyone's like, ha-ha, like on the show! That seems like it might be fun. What is your opinion on conspiracy theorists? You know, I think that there's a conspiracy theory site called rents.com that deals with a lot of conspiracy bullshit. And one of the things they talk about all the time is UFOs. And they have a little thing where you can submit your UFO experiences. And I went on there, and I submitted a story, and they asked for my contact information and stuff, and I submitted all of it. And the next day, my UFO encounter that I never actually had was on their fucking site as like, yeah, look at all this evidence for UFOs. I'm like, I just made that shit the fuck up. And you guys just printed on your site, you know, with no, You didn't need to fucking interview me or call me or, try to fucking trip me up or anything. So there's, basically, it seems like in these conspiracy circles, they play very fast and loose with the facts. They'll print rumor. They'll print total opinion. They'll print any theory, whether it makes logical sense or not. So, I mean, like, even if those people might occasionally stumble upon something that maybe makes you, hey, maybe they got a fucking, but, for the most part, I don't think you could take them seriously, just because there's no standard of proof there. I mean, it just seems like they'll print any fucking thing. So you hate me for loving Star Wars Episode 1. I'm sorry about having opinions you disapprove of, TJ. I do my best to alter them to your liking. I would not say alter them for my liking. I would say alter them for your own self-respect. Like, honestly look at that movie and just realize that it's a piece of shit and that you're deluding yourself. Because it's not even a valid opinion to say that movie is good. Because objectively, it fails. Like, by any objective standard of movie making, it sucks. Like, if you look at are the special effects good? No, they're not even good for their time. They don't even hold up as well as fucking Jurassic Park, which was made fucking before. Is the acting good? Demonstrably, no. Is the dialogue good? No. Does it have the same fucking feel as the original trilogy? Not even fucking close. Are the characters interesting? They're barely even fucking characters. So I would say that, you should just acknowledge that you're wrong and watch the movie again and realize that it's a piece of shit. Because, otherwise, I would say, it doesn't bother me, but it should bother you that you're living, like, you're basically, like, proud. You're basically, like, coming up to me and saying you, like, I like Star Wars Episode 1, and that's my opinion, and fuck you. That's like basically coming out to be like, I shit my pants, and I don't care. I like my pants to be covered in shit, and I like walking around feeling the turds squishing between my butt cheeks, and I like fucking how everyone looks at me when they smell it. It's like, well, maybe you're happy that way, but it's still fucking horrible. I don't know what to tell you. That's how I feel about Star Wars Episode 1. How do you feel about copyright of ideas or patents in science? I think you got to have some intellectual property protections, but obviously in this country, the copyright bullshit has gotten way the fuck out of hand, to the point where basically, if you're a corporation and you buy an idea, you just own that idea forever, and no one else is allowed to use it in any sort of capacity. That's not how ideas used to be. It used to be that, ideas belong to all of humanity and any person could add on to it at any time. And really, to look at ideas otherwise than that is to fucking limit the range of human progress because, if someone has some brilliant idea and someone else wants to add on to it, it's like, oh, well, you're just fucked. You can't add on to it because that idea belongs to this corporation and that's theirs, so you better come up with something else. And that's bullshit. TJ, you're a freak, but I love your channel. Rock on, brother. Yes, I'm a freak. I always have been, always will be. Pariah, social outcast. No one likes me. I don't care. TJ, why is your beard so amazingly sexy? Please tell us your secrets. I don't know. I don't know what my secret is. It's just beautiful by its nature. You are vaping. Why not get a proper pro device? I don't know. I like these. It seems authentic enough to me. When I smoke it, it feels like smoke. It tastes like smoke. So I don't fucking see why I should fucking use anything else when I found something that's pretty much completely fools me. The only thing that I would say is not authentic about it is I don't get to see the little flame. That's really what's missing. I like to see it gets shorter and shorter and shorter, and I like to fucking tap it off, That's really what's missing from the experience. If it had that going on, I think it'd be pretty much perfect. But there's, of course, no way you could, recreate that. Would you rather have your dick the size of your nipple or your nipple the size of your dick? I don't know. And sometimes that's the same, because, I'm so fat that, my fat can, consume my dick if I, sit in certain ways. So at that moment, it's pretty much like equivalent. But then my nipples, I don't even fucking have nipples. They're just like they're just total innies. So, you know, like if I'd have to have like a negative dick if I made that switch, which, you know, that's no good. That's no fun. No one wants that. How much Nazi cock can one suck? I don't know. I've not sucked a Nazi cock. TJ, I need an answer. If I see a hardcore Christian in my high school class, should I spit some logic at them? Considering that you wrote that in all caps and you can't spell the word C, you just put the letter, I would say that you're probably not qualified to spit logic at people. But, you know, if you want to give it a shot, little guy, you go right ahead. Might want to work on that basic fucking English first. How fat are you? I don't know. That's a difficult question to answer. I don't know. I'd have to see how skinny I could be if I was in shape before I can really answer how fat I am. You know what I'm saying? How did you develop such an amazing confidence with your penis sizing? I mean, I really need some advice on this matter. Performance anxiety and shit. So basically, you got a small cock, and you want my advice as a fellow small cock-having person. The best advice in any situation is to just act as if your problems don't exist. You know, just run away from your problems, basically. You know, don't ever confront anything directly. Just fucking put that shit on the back burner and let someone else worry about it. That sounds like terrible advice, and it probably is. But it works for me. Favorite beer. This is my favorite beer, actually. This is Abita Purple Haze. And it's really good. And it's bottled in a town I used to live pretty close to. Abita, Louisiana. Yo, TJ, how much weed do you smoke? Probably about a bowl a day. So, you know, I don't know. A pretty well-packed bowl a day. I mean, because, like, between Holly and I, we smoke like 2 bowls a day, and, you know, we split them because we really only smoke together. So, I mean, well, I'll smoke alone sometimes, but usually we're smoking partners. So, I mean, we both probably get a bowl apiece on any given day. Why are you such a scumbag? You know, the first person to ever call me a scumbag on the internet was a guy, what was his name? It was Pekka Eric Ovenen. And he went by the name Natural Selector 89 on YouTube, and he ended up shooting up his school and killing a bunch of people. So, you're in good company. TJ, what is your opinion on Noam Chomsky's criticism of U.S. foreign policy? You know, I'm not going to pretend some sort of intimate familiarity with everything Noam Chomsky has ever said about U.S. foreign policy, but I will say that I have a passing familiarity with it, and what I've heard I agree with about 90%. So I would imagine that I'm pretty close to him in terms of how I view the United States' place in the world at large. Do you have any secrets for maintaining thick skin when inciting so much extreme attention? I don't have thick skin, though. I mean, I really get my feelings hurt pretty easily. I'm very overly sensitive. But, you know, the thing about it is I enjoy anger. Like, I really like being angry. So if you just choose to always feel angry about it instead of feeling other emotions, then then it's pretty cool, because it just, like, fuels my fire. I'm just like, yeah, keep calling me a piece of shit, because you know what? I'm going to come and fucking sock you in your goddamn face. And it's kind of thrilling. So I guess, you just turn hate into your fuel. That's what I've done. Do you think the Columbine shooters were people who would have committed suicide anyways? I don't know about that. I can't speak to the psychology of people that I never met, and I haven't really read too extensively about. But, it would seem to me that, they were obviously at risk for, creating violence wherever they went. I don't know if the real question to me about it is if they hadn't found each other, would they still have lashed out in that way? But we don't really know. Speculating about the psychology of the dead is an extremely shaky place to be, and you really want to have more foreknowledge of the subject. I could probably fucking weave some bullshit that might sound halfway plausible, but I know in my heart that I was just bullshitting you, so I'm not going to pretend like I'm some kind of fucking expert on the psychology of Eric Harris and Dylan fucking Klebold. What is the highest you've ever been? Well, when I was a kid, I used to do this thing where I'd fucking, go down, and I'd take, a lot of deep breaths, and then I'd come back up, and I'd fucking cut off air circulation to my brain for, 5 or 10 seconds, and then afterwards, it was, a very brief but very intense high that just has this total, detached, euphoric feeling. And that's probably the highest I've ever been. But obviously, it's not a good idea to cut off circulation to your fucking brain, so don't do that. No matter how tempting it might be. Which is worse to you, TJ, Columbine or the Boston bombing? I have a sort of a philosophical objection to trying to rank tragedies in order of horrendousness, but of course, human beings do ultimately view the world in those terms. So, I gotta say that Columbine was probably worse because, first of all, it was the first major school shooting to happen in a very long time in America. A lot of people died. And more people died there than died in the Boston bombing. And also, I think the social impact of that event was far greater, because that was really when you started to see these schools become so oversensitive to everything, to the point where now you hear about kids getting expelled for fucking making finger pistols and going bang bang. It's just become this fucking disgusting, overly sensitive nightmare of this giant surge of pussification sweeping over the land. And I just feel like kids are getting softer and softer and softer, and it just seems like everyone's becoming a bigger fucking pussy every fucking year. And I just worry what's going to happen when all these fucking soft little wuss bags are in control, and they've got to deal with a world full of fucking people who grew up under much tougher circumstances and are fucking hard people who are not rational, who are not open to negotiation, and who just want to fuck your shit up. It kind of concerns me, honestly, that we're becoming too fucking pussy, but what can I do? I am but one man. You made a video about a year or two ago saying you don't like to smoke weed because it calms you. What caused the change of heart? Well, I tried weed a lot, growing up. I think I tried it. I never really tried it as a teenager, but, in my adult life, I tried it at numerous points, and I never really fucking cared for it. And then at some point, I fucking tried it again, and I was like, actually, this is pretty cool. And ever since then, I've been exploring it, and I like what it does to me, because it kind of... What weed does for me, I don't know if it does this for everybody, because I've never really talked to too many other stoners, or I'm not really part of stoner culture or anything like that, but the effect it has on me is that I think that it in some ways removes my... There's so many things that human beings do that are just automatic. You You go in your house, you automatically toss your keys in a certain fucking spot. You do this, you do that. There's all these fucking things that human beings just do on autopilot. And that's not just for action. I mean, that's not just for actions. That's for thoughts, too. Like, we get caught in these, like, recurrent thought cycles. And, you know, it's just like we have this instantaneous automatic reaction to certain situations. And for me, what weed does is it removes all of the autopilot, you know, and I'm experiencing everything as if it's new, and that causes me to re-examine things and to look at things from different perspectives, and I think it broadens my my intellectual scope. And you know, someone like me who's, you know, not really stupid, but not really fucking some kind of genius or anything either. You know, I need all the help I can get. I need everything I can to generate new ideas, to generate novelty, to generate all of these explosive, creative fucking ideas that, you know, you hope will fucking make a dent in the world, and sometimes they do, and other times you fucking think you've got, like, gold, and it's like, yeah, they gonna love this, and then it's like, this sucks. Oh, well, I tried. Sorry. Do you groom your beard? I will if it starts to get longer, but I mean, right now, there's nothing I can really do. It's just like some rough fuzz, basically. It's like Velcro, really. It's like the spiky end of the Velcro. What do you think of the death penalty? You know, I'm not pro-death penalty. And that includes people who have done, like, heinous things that just, you know, like, people that we all probably agree deserve to die. I don't even support the death penalty for them. Because, first of all, I'm not comfortable with the idea of the government executing civilians. You know, I mean, I know we fucking go over in other countries and bomb them and shit like that, and I'm not too keen on that either. But even there, I can sometimes see the need to kill someone, you know, in a war situation. But if you have someone detained already, and they're in your custody, and there's no fucking reasonable chance of escape for them, then I think it's pretty primitive to feel the need to kill them. I don't agree with it, and you know, there's too many people that have been fucking later on, you know, been executed and later on proven innocent. There's too many people who've been on death row and then, you know, been taken off of death row because it's been realized they've been innocent. I mean, the legal system makes too many mistakes. But even if there's incontrovertible evidence, I still don't support the government killing people. I think that the legal system should be above that. I don't think that there should be... I don't think human emotions should really be factored in to the equation. I think it should be a purely rational equation. And I don't think that it makes rational sense to give the government the right to kill people. Because if they have that right, then who's to say they won't one day use it against you? And, you know, I mean, if you trust the government completely, then I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. If you lived in 1800 and had money to buy slaves, would you? You know, it's an impossible question to answer because you really don't know how you're going to react to being in that cultural situation unless you've actually been raised in that culture. Like, right now, I'm pretty... Like, I think that the ethical basis for eating meat is probably pretty shisty. But at the same time, I really like to eat meat, so I'm just kind of like, well, maybe some future generation will declare that this is some horrible thing, and I will be looked at as the equivalent of a fucking slave owner to future generations. But I don't really care. I still want to eat the meat. So, I mean, like, would I have the same view of slavery if I was, you know, living in 1800? Who the fuck knows? Maybe. Maybe fucking not. TJ, what is your opinion on communism? Man, the fucking communists, man. Fucking commies, man. They make you fuck your sister. Make you fuck your sister, the commies, man. You don't fuck with no commies, man. They make your cousin marry your brother marry your aunt marry your mother. It's fucking insane. Communism, man. Would you consider having hair below your shoulders? I already do. It's just springing out of my back. But, No, I have had that in the past. If you go look at my very early videos, I did have long hair. It was probably about to my tit. Maybe even longer. I think it actually went below my tit, so yeah. It was pretty fucking long. What's my opinion on Wiccans? I mean, I don't know. I've only ever known one Wiccan, and I always kind of felt like that his Wiccanness, Wiccosity, I don't fucking know, his Wiccanism, or whatever the fuck you call it, was kind of bullshit. I mean, I always thought it was kind of silly, to be honest. Maybe there's other Wiccans that I could take more seriously. Probably not, but who knows. Did you hear that Biden wants to tax violent video games? What are your opinions on that? I think it's ridiculous. That's pretty much an oversimplification of what Joe Biden actually said, which he was asked if there would be anything legislatively preventing them from taxing violent video games, and he said no, which, you know, depending on how you interpret the law, that's either true or not true. And he was basically saying that, you know, if someone did propose that, he would have to see scientific evidence that video games were harmful and had negative psychological effects. So it's pretty much an outright lie to say that Joe Biden said he wants to tax violent video games. Yeah. Why do you never answer my fucking questions? I just did. And you wasted it on this whiny bullshit. It's always funny to me when someone's like, why don't you ever answer my questions? And that's the question I see and land on. You fucking whiny bitch. If you'd have just asked it again right there, you would have got your answer. TJ, in your opinion, do you think sexism is more prevalent against men than women, especially since there's a double standard involved a lot of the time? Once again, I'm not really into this ranking bullshit. I would say that it's fair to say that sexism exists against men and it exists against women, and it's wrong either way. And it doesn't really matter which is more prevalent or which sex has got it worst. I mean, like, it's not a fucking suffering contest. It's not a fucking injustice contest. Let's just fucking address the goddamn problems. Okay? TJ, if your wife and mother switched bodies and the only way to switch them back is to have sex with one of them, who would it be? Your mom in your wife's body or your wife in your mom's body? I would say that they're just stuck in their fucking bodies because either situation is just too fucking weird for me to possibly cooperate with. Sorry. How often, if ever, do you run into your YouTube viewers? You know, I run into them sometimes. Usually it's pretty cool. You know, I can be a bit socially awkward, so, I mean, like, people come up to me and I'm like, I don't really know what to say, because people are like, you're the Amazing Atheist, and I'm like, yep. They're like, how you doing, man? Good? Oh, okay. Well, it's nice meeting you. Yeah, you too, man. Cool. Bye. Sometimes I've taken a couple of pictures with someone. I've never had to sign an autograph in person, but people have paid for autograph stuff from me, so. What does TJ stand for? It stands for the jiggliest. It could also stand for the Joker. Or Taco Jizz. What other games are you going to do for your gaming channel? I just downloaded one called Reus, or Reus, or I don't know how it's pronounced, but I just downloaded it. Someone actually gifted it to me, so that's cool. So I'm probably going to play that. And I will be doing probably more Super Meat Boy, and I might give beating fucking The Binding of Isaac another fucking shot or two. So you're going to expect those in the future. What the fuck happened? There we go. Alright. Alright, let's refresh this, because fucking comments are not fucking updating. TJ, did you do good in high school? I need you to answer this right now. No, I did not do good in high school. I did not try to do good in high school. I was barely even fucking in high school before I fucking left high school, so... No, I did not do well. But let me tell you this, my failure academically was nothing compared to my failure socially. So... What do you think about Richard Dawkins? I like Richard Dawkins, alright. I mean, I think sometimes he can be a bit of a snooty asshole, but he's a smart guy, and I like what he has to say, and he says interesting things, and blah, blah, blah. You know, I mean, he's kind of a boring person to talk about, because, like, he's out there for everyone's already fucking made their opinion if they're an atheist. They've already fucking seen Richard Dawkins. They've already fucking decided what they like and don't like about Richard Dawkins. TJ, do you believe Scotland would be better off for leaving the UK? I don't know. I mean, I have Scottish ancestry. I mean, like, most of my ancestry is Scottish. I have more Scottish blood than anything else. So I would kind of like to think that my country wants to be independent and not fucking, you know, joined with some other fucking group of people. But, you know, I've never actually been to Scotland. I don't know any fucking thing about Scotland, really, other than my fucking ancestry fucking came from there. And what I saw in Braveheart, which apparently is not very accurate, so... Other than that, I don't really know fuck all about Scotland. It's never been necessary to know much about Scotland in my fucking day-to-day life. What is your opinion of Tupac Shakur? You know, I never fucking liked Tupac's music, but he seemed like he was a pretty intelligent guy, and, you know, I guess that he was considered pretty good for what he did, just not my fucking cup of tea, or my fucking, whatever. So, not my 40, I guess, what you would say, for rap, the rap equivalent of tea. But yeah, I didn't fucking care for the shit myself, but, you know, I wasn't, like, happy he was dead or nothing. What's your opinion of Bill O'Reilly? Bill O'Reilly is a cunt, obviously. But, I mean, he's not the biggest cunt there is. I mean, like, at least Bill O'Reilly, you know, is like, progressive on some fucking issues. You know, it's not like Sean Hannity, where it's just, like, pure fucking evil, or fucking Steven Crowder, where it's pure evil plus pure cowardice. Steven Crowder is such a pussy. That motherfucker, I've made videos against him, I've made tweets against him, and I've heard from people that in private, he fucking hates my guts. He fucking wants to sue me. He fucking despises me. He thinks I'm a piece of shit. He fucking says he'd beat my ass if he ever saw me. He's always talking shit about me behind my back, but he has never once ever said anything to me directly. He's never sent me a tweet. He's never fucking made a video response to me. He's never fucking called me out. I've called him out plenty of times, and he just ignores it. Like he's above it. But, well, Steven, word has already gotten back to me that you're not fucking above it, bitch. So jump into the fray and let's see how the fuck you do against me. What do you call your fans? The TJ Maniacs? I don't really fucking have a name for them. Maybe the T-Jites. Yeah. What is your opinion on using bigoted language without actually holding any bigoted convictions? I don't think there is such a thing as bigoted language. You know? I mean, you can say, oh, well, the word faggot or the word nigger is inherently offensive to people who are gay or to people who are black. Or that, you know, like cunt is inherently offensive to women. But, I mean, we can talk about the words themselves, can't we? I mean, I know for a fact that black people like to go around calling themselves nigga. You know, I know for a fact that there's certain women who fucking like to say things like, you know, fuck my cunt or something like that. I know that there's some faggots who self-identify as faggots proudly. So, I mean, I don't think that you can call those bigoted words, because if you change the context, you change the fucking meaning. And I've never used those words in a bigoted fashion. So I don't feel like they've ever been used as bigoted words by me. I mean, the intentions behind them would have to be bigoted in order for them to be bigoted. So that's my basic opinion on that bullshit. Fans should be called, and then some nicotine to, you know, keep you hooked. It's basically like a nicotine inhaler is what it really fucking is. Is the stream dead? Has the stream died? It says it's still broadcasting. It's back up. Okay, cool. So the stream is not dead. What's your opinion on Bronies? I don't have nothing against anybody who fucking likes that My Little Pony shit, but I personally find it stupid as fuck. I don't fucking care for it. And it's not because it's too girly. I just think it's just fucking stupid. It's not clever. It's not well written. It's not well animated. It's a piece of fucking shit. I don't like it. I don't fucking like it. I don't fucking like it. Fuck you. Goddamn pony worshipping fucking faggots. See? I didn't mean it as bigoted there, because I wasn't referring to anyone but people who like that pony shit. So I do have some animosity, I guess. Some pent-up animosity towards the pony people. TJ, are you comfortable with the fact that you are essentially a drug addict hooked on nicotine? If you go without it, you will go through withdrawal like heroin. Yeah, but you know what? I think that every person should have a few addictions. I really do. I really believe that. Because, you know, if you got nothing you're addicted to, then you have nothing to fall back on. It's just a matter of choosing your addictions wisely. And I think nicotine is a pretty wise addiction. Because, you know, I mean, smoking is bad, obviously, but if you're just doing the nicotine has been shown to improve cognitive function. It improves memory. That's all you need right there, you know? If it fucking if it improves concentration and it improves memory, and I think it also, it suppresses your appetite, so it might be good for my fucking diet, too. So, hey, cheers. Cheers to addiction. Who makes your e-cig? It's made by Blue. You can go to bluecigs.com, but there's no E in that blue. It's just BLUCIGS.com. And you can fucking buy this shit, and you can get addicted to this shit too. It's pretty good. Any thoughts on Brazil? The only thing I really know about Brazil is that people get fucking shot there a lot, and the women have really big asses. So there's one thing keeping me away, the prospect of getting shot, and then there's one thing drawing me near, the prospect of a big jiggly booty. But, you know, I don't know. We'll see what wins out, ultimately. Take the biggest blow you can and hold it for as long as you can. This shit can actually be pretty harsh, so I don't know about that, but I'll give it a shot. Jesus. That was a bad idea. I shouldn't have done that. Oh well. Probably funny. I'm lightheaded now. Jesus. I should never have done that. That's like the time my brother dared me to eat a fucking whole nugget of wasabi at a Japanese restaurant. And I normally would not have done it. But there was other people there that heard, and they were egging me on as well. They're like, yeah, eat it. Eat it. And I did. And my entire face got tingly. And my fucking every ounce of snot that I had in any of my sinuses just melted and became like this horrible liquid that just poured out of my face like a faucet. It was not a pleasurable experience. But, say butt fuck. Butt fuck. Butt fuck. It's time to butt fuck. Okay, it's 8:47, so I think we've been on for an hour now. So I'm going to go ahead and take, 3 more questions, and then the show's over. So, hope you guys fucking enjoy the show. Might do some longer shows in the future. I don't know. This one's only an hour, and we started at like 7:40 something. So, anyway, let's do 3 more questions, and then we're done. When did you accept atheism into your heart? That's the great thing about atheism. You don't have to accept it into your heart. You just have to reject everything else that people try to sell you. Someone's like, hey man, guess what? There's a magic man who lives in the sky who grants wishes. And you're like, no, there's not. Congratulations, you're an atheist. There's no need to commit to anything further. TJ, if you could go back in time and choose any civilization in human history and give them modern tech and research, which one would it be? Man, I'd have to be a nefarious motherfucker to meddle with history in that fashion. Yeah, I don't think I'd be comfortable doing that. Even hypothetically, I don't even want to think about the implications. Would a fascist government work? Well, fascist governments have worked through history. I mean, it depends on what you mean by work. I mean, if you mean, like, the citizens are happy and well-fed, no. If you mean the government is stable and its power is fucking pretty much not being questioned, or, there's no legitimate threat to them ever, losing their power, then they work, I guess, in that sense. But, they've never exactly delivered the best results to the people who actually are, living under those governments. Which is why, of course, they have such a poor reputation. All right, one last question. All these suck. New batch. Come on, people. Ask something good. Do. Man, you guys suck at questions. Where's a good question? Come on. Good question. Good question. All right, fine. We're not going to get a good question, so I'm going to refresh one more time, and whatever the top question is, no matter how silly and absurd, that's the one we're going to fucking answer. What do you think about Canada's, and then in parentheses it says Ontario's, healthcare system, and should the United States follow a similar system? Well, I mean, I don't know a tremendous amount about Canada's healthcare system, but I do know that, they have higher rates of satisfaction there than we do here, but it's still pretty low. Like, Canada is actually not one of the better countries to emulate. You'd probably want to, if you really want to fucking figure out which country to emulate, you should just go look and see, okay, well, what country has the best outcomes? Okay. Now, what country has the highest, satisfaction? What country has, the most robust medical care and the most doctors and, so on and so forth. Figure all those things out, tabulate the level of importance of each thing, and fucking come to some rational conclusion about who we should fucking emulate. I would imagine that since we've passed Obamacare and we have the mandatory insurance thing, we should probably emulate someone like Japan Japan or Germany, who have similar systems to that. Just basically, you keep the private insurance companies, but you heavily, heavily regulate them, and you mandate that people have them, and the government pays for people who can't afford to, buy their own insurance. And then everyone's covered, and and people are still making money off it, so there's still the profit motive that the conservatives are so fond of, and yet, everyone's covered and everyone can fucking, not worry about, oh, what if I fucking get this horrible disease and fucking die and no one will treat me? That seems like the most prudent course of action to me. And we'll what was that? We'll do one more. We'll do one more fucking question. Once again, we'll just do the top one. I'll just answer as many of these, and we're going to go fucking freestyle and just answer a bunch of questions at once here. We're just going to do quick answers to a bunch of fucking questions. Would you fuck Rihanna? I don't even have a good idea of what she looks like. The only picture I saw of her was the one where she'd been punched. I think I might have seen her since then, but she didn't stand out to me. What do you think of the controversy surrounding Argo? It's a bunch of bullshit. You know, movies are not accurate. Everyone should know that by now. Jonathan Swift's A Modest Proposal. Isn't that the one where he fucking suggests that people should start eating children? I mean, it would take care of overpopulation, so... what do you think about a resource economy? I'm not going to answer that. I just don't feel like I could come up with a coherent answer off the top of my fucking head. TJ, what happened to modern rock? It became this... Like, it's very strange what happened to rock music, because it went from being, like... The official music of, like, badasses to the official music of, like, the wussiest people possible. I don't know how that happened. I don't know when the transformation took place, but it sucks. Do you like Louis C.K.? Yes, I think Louis C.K. is really funny. Favorite snack? My favorite snack... I mean, like, look at me. I mean, I just shovel things into my mouth. It's just... Oreos probably are my favorite. Any kind of Oreo. Like you go to the store now, there's not just one kind of fucking Oreo. There's like Oreos aplenty. Like there's fucking 20 different kinds of fucking Oreo. And every one is fucking delicious. I've yet to get a bad kind of Oreo and be like, man, this Oreo ain't too good. That's yet to happen. Every fucking flavor of Oreo is amazing and will instantly cause me to orgasm. Alright. The real last question comes from Matsta177, and it's, will you suck my dick for money? Why would I want to suck your dick for money when I could suck it for free? I'm the Amazing Atheist. I hope you enjoyed the show. I might do another one next week if this one's popular. We'll see if it gets watched enough in reruns or whatever. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope fucking I was a decent way to spend an hour or however long you were in here. And as always, I appreciate each and every one of you except for the stupid ones, which of course doesn't include you. No, you're smart and handsome and intelligent. Bye-bye.